A shocking event has just shaken the international public. In footage that surfaced only a few minutes ago, Jungkook was seen arriving at the airport together with the other BTS members. However, what immediately stole the spotlight was not just his presence, but the absence of the most anticipated figure, Taehyung. A big question instantly echoed. Why was Taehyung not seen? Was this merely a coincidence, or was there a more complicated dynamic behind the scenes deliberately hidden from the public eye? The airport scene seemed to be a small fragment of the larger drama continuously unfolding around BTS. Jungkook appeared with a steady stride, surrounded by security and fans' cheers endlessly calling his name. Cameras captured every move of his body, every expression on his face that seemed to attempt to remain calm, yet could not fully conceal the tension. But public attention quickly shifted to the fact that Taehyung, who just days earlier had become the center of global spotlight after throwing the ceremonial first pitch at Dodger Stadium, was nowhere to be seen accompanying him. This situation sparked layered questions. Was Taehyung deliberately avoiding Jungkook, or was Jungkook instead instructed to keep his distance from Taehyung? Speculation grew stronger with the public's memory of past moments where the two often appeared together, supporting each other and showing interactions that drew admiration. But this time, what appeared was distance. Why did that distance seem to be maintained? Was this only a temporary strategy, or a real sign of personal tension that could no longer be hidden? The question sharpened further when the public recalled how Taehyung had recently been the global spotlight in America, while Jungkook chose a different path with his solo activities. These two names, which usually shone side by side, now seem to have been placed on separate tracks. Many suspected that the company's factor was behind Taehyung's absence at that airport moment. How could it be that after Taehyung's dazzling appearance at Dodger Stadium, he suddenly was not seen with his peers? Some speculated that this was a carefully arranged image management strategy. Yet on the other hand, fans questioned, why must image be managed in such a way that it creates the impression of internal separation within the group? Was corporate interest truly prioritized over interpersonal harmony? Or was there another reason, far more personal, that was deliberately concealed? The airport scene also presented small details that heightened the tension of the narrative. Jungkook appeared focused on his steps, rarely glancing around. The smile he usually offered to fans looked thinner, as if there was a burden he could hardly hide. The airport, usually a stage full of enthusiasm, instead turned into an arena of speculation. The camera spotlight was no longer just capturing their appearance, but exposing cracks of tension that felt increasingly real. If indeed there was no problem, why did the arrangement of their presence seem so different? Why, just days after Taehyung's grand spotlight in America, did he suddenly vanish from such a crucial airport moment? The fact that Jungkook appeared with the other members only further emphasized Taehyung's absence. If logistics were the reason, why was it only Taehyung who was not in the group? The public began to trace Taehyung's movements. After Dodger Stadium, he was seen in several brief moments related to promotions and interactions with outsiders. But after that, it was as if there was a deliberate withdrawal from public space. Why did the timing of his absence coincide with Jungkook's arrival at the airport? Was this coincidence, or was it arranged so that the two would not be in the same frame? Suspicion grew stronger because this was not the first time the public had seen signs of distance between Jungkook and Taehyung. Although both always drew attention, in recent moments a pattern emerged where they were rarely displayed side by side. The question then, did this pattern reflect a long-term strategy deliberately designed, or a personal issue unresolved internally? Furthermore, why did the company seem unwilling to provide the public with space to see them in more open situations? Was there something feared that might be revealed? Meanwhile, fans' reactions were divided. Some felt this was merely a usual strategy often used in the entertainment world to maintain exclusivity and build curiosity. But many others saw it as an indication of a conflict that was not simple. How could it be, if their relationship was fine, that such distance kept being allowed to happen? If there was nothing to hide, why was it so difficult to show them together? Was Taehyung's absence this time merely the beginning of a bigger separation? The international spotlight on BTS made every detail significant. Not only stage performances, But even their steps at the airport could be read by the public as indicators of deeper dynamics. Taehyung's absence in this moment with Jungkook was clearly not a small matter. It was an unresolved puzzle, and every piece of information that emerged only added complexity. Was this part of an individual promotion strategy? Was there a personal conflict deliberately covered by management's narrative? Or conversely, were the two deliberately separated because being together was considered too dangerous? Furthermore, we must also consider momentum. Taehyung had just become the global center of attention at Dodger Stadium, a moment that not only displayed his influence, but also solidified his position as a figure with international reach. Yet instead of capitalizing on that momentum together with Jungkook, the public was instead presented with a separate, confusing scene. Why was such a big opportunity not used to show unity? Was there concern that their togetherness would shift focus from the individual narratives being built? This event brings us to a more fundamental question. How long must the public be left to speculate without clarity? Every video clip, every photo appearing on social media, every facial expression captured by cameras was now material for analysis. Even the smallest detail, eye direction, or hand movement could trigger interpretations that something was wrong. This situation placed Jungkook and Taehyung under immense pressure, as anything they did would always be considered to hold hidden meaning. If distance truly existed, what was the cause? If that distance was arranged, who arranged it, and for what purpose? The airport moment, though brief, left a huge emotional impact on fans. Many felt disappointed at not seeing the togetherness they hoped for. Some felt angry, considering this separation as manipulation of fans' emotions. But above all, what remained was swelling curiosity. Was Taehyung's absence this time just a technical coincidence, or was it a piece of a bigger narrative being built? And if such a narrative truly existed, what were the consequences for both of their futures in BTS? Only time will tell, but for now, that airport moment has left a huge mystery. Jungkook was present, Taehyung was absent, and the public was left guessing. The most fundamental question kept echoing in many people's minds. What is really happening behind the scenes of BTS right now? The airport event showing Jungkook's presence with the other BTS members, but without Taehyung, remains a hot topic splitting public attention. Yet after all the swirling speculation, a more fundamental question must be asked. Was this moment truly a reality reflecting BTS's internal dynamics, or was it instead a fabrication deliberately created to control the flow of global media attention? Was the public truly witnessing truth, or merely victims of a perception game carefully arranged? Every second of footage spread on TikTok, every video clip from YouTube, every photo from Twitter, and every article circulating in other media was always positioned as if representing fact. Yet how far could those facts be accounted for? How great was the possibility that everything we saw was merely the result of visual selection, edited, strengthened with emotional narrative, and directed to create sensation? Had fans and readers ever stopped to ask, was the information they consumed truly reality, or merely hoaxes wrapped in convincing packaging? We must question the motives behind the spread of such information. Was social media truly only presenting what happened, or were there particular interests pushing public opinion? Why did Taehyung's absence at the airport go viral so quickly, as if there was a distribution pattern deliberately accelerating the conversation flow? Was this coincidence, or a sign that this moment was designed to become the center of attention? If so, then who benefited from such sensationalism? This phenomenon reveals a greater dilemma about information credibility in the digital era. Were we living in objective reality, or merely consuming illusions mass-produced? Did viewers of that airport footage truly see the situation as it was, or only receive fragments of reality chosen to support a certain narrative? What if Taehyung's absence was not an actual problem, but part of a diversion strategy? If so, had the public become too easily steered to believe what was meant to be highlighted? These questions cannot be taken lightly, because in truth, modern entertainment often relies on the play of perception. The public is shaped to see something from a predetermined viewpoint, while the whole truth is rarely shown. Have we, as viewers, become victims of such strategies? Or are we actually aware, yet still choose to be trapped in emotional narratives because the tension and drama offered feel more appealing than reality that may be plain? We must also question the role of the media spreading this information. Did the media truly function to deliver facts? Or did they instead participate in amplifying sensation for clicks, views, and public attention? Why could the absence of one person in an airport group gain such massive spotlight, when in the context of international artists' travel, this was not extraordinary? Was it because the public had been shaped to always seek conflict narratives so that every small detail would be perceived as evidence of hidden drama? On the other hand, the public must be honest with itself. Were they truly seeking truth, or merely craving a story full of intrigue? If only drama was sought, then it was no wonder that every fragment of information spreading was quickly accepted without further questioning. But if what was desired was truth, then a stronger skeptical attitude should have emerged. Why did we not question the validity of every source? Why did we instantly believe circulating videos without ensuring their full context? Why were we so quick to conclude there was conflict when no real evidence supported it? The truth of the circulating information still needs verification. No one can confirm whether Taehyung's absence was truly due to personal reasons, company instructions, or mere technical coincidence. Yet, ironically, uncertainty itself became the main fuel of this sensationalism. The less clarity given, the more room for speculation to grow wild. And the wilder the speculation, the greater the public attention on the issue. Was this exactly what certain parties wanted? Was the mystery deliberately maintained so the public would keep talking about it? At this point, we face a major dilemma. Will we continue to be immersed in a narrative that may not be true, or will we dare to take a skeptical stance demanding clarity? Do we want to be passive consumers of a sensational information stream, or critical viewers who dare to question every detail? This choice not only determines how we understand the Jungkook and Taehyung incident, but also how we treat information in the digital era as a whole. Let us reflect. If this was truly fabrication, would that not mean the public was being manipulated to believe something unreal? Would that not mean fans' feelings, hopes, and disappointments were being exploited for certain interests? And if there truly was internal conflict, why must it be displayed in a confusing mystery? Were certain parties afraid to face the real truth? Every individual reading this news must ask themselves, am I truly sure this event is real? Or am I merely carried away by what is displayed on my phone screen? Am I ready to accept the possibility that this news is only part of a bigger game, never truly explaining what happened? If the answers to these questions remain unclear, then skepticism is the only rational path. Jungkook's airport moment without Taehyung has created a massive wave on social media, but that wave does not automatically reflect truth. That wave may have been created, directed, even amplified for certain purposes. Therefore, it is crucial for every reader to always place themselves in a critical position. Do not let emotions control logic. Do not let sensationalism cover truth. And most importantly, do not let unverified narratives destroy objectivity in judging an event. Ultimately, the main question remains the same: are we witnessing reality or trapped in illusion? Are Jungkook and Taehyung truly in a complicated dynamic, or is that dynamic merely media fabrication? Does the public truly know what is happening, or only accept what is intended to be shown? The answers to all these questions are not yet available, but one thing is certain. The public must dare to be skeptical, reflective, and critical of every piece of circulating information, because without that, we will all only become victims of a grand game that continues endlessly.